Hi guys, Guru Tim here to make a video. And as a spiritual guru, I usually operate, the way I operate I should say, I'm usually approached with a question. And I'll meditate. Most of the time I have the question right then and there. Usually they're pretty basic. Sometimes they're actually pretty complex, and I myself have to go through the search and find the answer and all this stuff. But today I'm at a loss. I have no question, but I do have the answers. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my own question here. This will be like a nice little rant video, so look at the basics, yeah? It's kind of like, what is this universe? What makes up this universe? What are we seeing here? Very basic questions. Very easy questions. Easy question to answer. Apologize. Coming down with cold. My throat is not with me today. Let's go again. What is the universe? The universe is everything that we see. It is everything in our perceptive reality. It is everything we can think of, and everything we can't think of. It's everything we can fathom, everything we cannot fathom. It is the good, it is the bad, it is the ugly. It's everything. The universe is everything, really. So, what is everything? And what makes up everything? Cells. We know that cells aren't everywhere. We know cells make up everything, right? So that would mean that cells make up the universe as well. Our beloved universe. It's everything. Everything that we know. All that is. All it will ever be. The one... You guys know the whole spiel of the universe. Come on. So let's delve a little deeper. Let's go more complex. Let's go to the cells, right? Energy. Let's talk about energy. So these cells vibrate. They're vibrating at a certain rate. It's just not fixed. It's kind of how they want to vibrate. And how they need to vibrate to serve the purpose as well. But as they're vibrating, these cells give off kinetic energy. There it is. So these cells give off kinetic energy because we can back this up by science. We know that everything that moves produces kinetic energy. This is a law. Can't change that. Go back to Bashar. Can't change that. No, but yeah, this is law. We cannot change that. If you're moving, you're producing kinetic energy. Get over it. No, it's not a bad thing. So all these cells are producing kinetic energy, and as they're producing kinetic energy, it gives illusion that everything is there. I'm kind of jumping topic to topic real quick. I might dive into it later. We'll see. This is a rant, so there's no structure. Can't beat me up for it. So they're all vibrating. They're all creating kinetic energy. And you know how sometimes when there you go. It's very nice. See how my fingers vibrate right now? And it kind of gives it like the illusion that it's solid. The same thing the cells are doing. Like pretend my finger's a cell. Go like this. It doesn't really look like it's all that solid from here and here. It's pretty stationary. You can tell that this is one and this is one. There's nothing, nothing too shabby about that. Per se. But if we circle like this, it kind of looks like one giant blurry finger. And that's how we establish our reality. Whatever you see, whatever you don't see, rather. It's all of it. Whatever you see, don't see. Whatever exists, don't exist. There's nothing that does exist, because non-existence doesn't exist on itself. It's only a concept. It's only illusion. Just like negative energy. Negative energy does not exist. But let's go back. Nah, Brandy. Let's go back. And what were we talking about? So everything you see, right? So everything is vibrating. But quantum physics states, and this is just back, scientific backup of my theory here. So you see everything was all stationary, just like the finger here. Everything looks just like this. You look at that finger, and I'm like, oh, that looks right, it looks like solid, but all these cells in my finger are vibrating, creating an illusion. The finger that you see here is not all there. The cells inside there are vibrating, creating an image that everything is there. There's an illusion, but there's some parts of these fingers that are negative space and not quite there. They're just vibrating, it's creating an illusion. Of course, some of it's there has to be, or else it would not create the illusion in the first place. What do you say, Agent Smith? Major reference. What I'm saying is, as these cells are vibrating, it's kind of painting a picture of what we perceive as our reality. And what we perceive as our reality, let's say, I forget the percentage. Let's say that 70% of what we see is real, and 30% is what we see is not real. Or we can just flip your mind completely and say 30% of what you see is real, and maybe 70% is what you see is just the image from the cell vibrating, right? It's not quite real, but it's still, produced from something that's real. It's vibrating. It looks real. Like, this gives awesome. Ghost hand, right? Ghost hand. If anybody, that was seeing this for the first time would think like, whoa, that's a weird blurry hand. No, that's just me shaking my hand, giving the illusion of a blurry hand, What am I getting at? What I'm getting at is all the stuff you see is not quite real. I'm not saying it's fake, it's just an image. It's just an image of this cell vibrating. And they're all vibrating in harmony to create these projections. Is a good word. So they're creating these projections. All these cells are moving in tandem to create this beautiful projection that we see now in the universe. It's all around us, it's in us, it's through us, it's everywhere. Even the cells in our body are vibrating in harmony with this. Otherwise it'd be colliding, it would start creating still image. And there are some that are colliding with each other. And that's how we create the definition between this body and something that's out there. Because they're at some kind of they're off. They're going the opposite ways. That's what's creating a contrast of what's here and what's there. If we were all moving, if all the cells in the universe were moving in harmony, you just have one giant being. There would be no distinction between me and you. There would be no distinction between me and the couch that I'm sitting on. There would be no distinction between me and the laptop I'm filming this video with. It would just be all one. So there has to be some kind of contrast there. We have to define ourselves. This is my consciousness in this human body, and we have to express that way so we can kind of give and take. There's a harmony and there's a distortion. There's a little bit of distortion in there too. What am I getting with that? So there's distortion, we lose ourselves. Start looking at this. Start looking at this world, and you start looking more in the distortion than the harmony. Sometimes we start looking more at the harmony than the distortion. Sometimes we start looking more at what's we start thinking that all of this is real sometimes. We start thinking that nothing is vibrating here. We lose track of, what's really happening inside this universe. We kind of lose track that everything here is a projection, and everything here is for a purpose. To show us something, right? Because why would they be dancing? Why would these cells be vibrating? Why would they be creating an image if it wasn't here to show us something, right? Why would they be moving in harmony together if there was no reason to be moving in harmony with each other? Because if they're let's break it down. This talk real talk, guys. Real talk with Guru Tim. If the cell saw no benefit in moving in harmony with another cell, they would not be moving in harmony with another cell. So what's the benefit? What's the purpose of them moving in harmony? Like I was talking about, we have the cells that aren't moving in harmony with each other, creating distortion, and keep providing contrast of where I am and where we are. I was just talking about that, guys, so I'm not going to do that again. So it's creating distortion, right? We're creating our own individually with this distortion. We're creating our own individuality. Creating our own individual being. Give me a second here, let me switch hands. So creating our own individual self. And the purpose of these cells that are moving in harmony to create this image is to get all the other cells that are moving in distortion against the ones in the harmony to move in harmony. Kind of teach them the lesson like, hey, we're all part of the same thing. Because once that cell is not moving in harmony with all the rest of the cells, it's kind of like saying, hey, I'm doing my own thing, right? We're not connected. I'm doing my own thing. You're not going to serve me because we're not connected. That's what the cells say. Yeah. That sort of things. Yeah. It's hard to. So, as this cell is vibrating and the other cell is creating distortion, the other cell thinks he's not connected with everything. But the cells were moving harmony in tandem with each other. They know that they're connected. They know that they're moving in harmony. They know this. They know that they're creating the image for these other cells to jump on board with. So what's the purpose of this image? To show them they can't really talk, I mean, they're cells, they don't have mouths. So kind of paint an image, kind of like show them a lesson, They give you a projection, if you will, like on a movie screen. It's like a movie. They're watching a movie. These cells that are moving in distortion are watching a movie. I'm just saying, hey, what is this here, They're moving, these other guys moving with each other, creating this beautiful picture. And I'm out here creating distortion. I'm just going out their picture, really. And the cell would say that. So as they're watching this projection, they're watching this beauty of the cells moving in harmony with each other, giving them an image, giving them a show. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This cell. I'm not sure why these guys are doing this. I'm not sure why they're showing me this image. I don't know why they're moving in tandem. These guys are stupid. I'm not connected to them. But you will learn so. And I'm at like 15 minutes. Okay, cool. I'm not trying to make it over 20 minutes. So, as this cells, I'm going to speed up a little bit. So these cells are watching this image and saying, hey, maybe there's something to this. I mean, Look at this beauty that they're creating together. Look how they're dancing together in harmony. And I'm over here biting heads with these guys. And that is basically a lesson what this all is supposed to learn. I'm so tired. Sorry about that. So the cells are moving in harmony, creating this projection. What was I gonna get with this? Oh, I was gonna upscale this. So what's happening in the cells world is also happening in our world. We can be the cells, moving in harmony, creating this projection of beauty, and teaching other cells, or other people, to move in harmony with us. I should say people, I should say more like consciousness, because we're not even only affecting other people, we're also affecting other consciousness in the universe. In fact, the consciousness of the universe itself. And Gaia too. Gaia, the consciousness of the earth. We are affecting her as well. If you did not know, you guys who litter, I'm just saying. But, so, we can either see these worlds, we see these projections that we're looking at. Seeing all these cells moving tandem and creating this projection, and we're seeing all these projections of these cells moving in tandem, moving in harmony to create another projection, a projection of a projection, to teach the projection of the cells that are creating disturbance. Yes, they're creating projections as well. It's not a beautiful projection, but it's a projection nonetheless. Cells are creating projection, and these two projections are interacting, which is what we are. We're just projections of these cells that are moving. We're projecting of the great universe. We're teaching our insides how to work with each other, how to be in harmony with each other. And the universe is going through this too. The universe is going through this too. The universe is made up of 1,000 different cells, made up of thousands of different projections. I don't want to say thousands, infinite numbers. Infinite numbers. If I say thousands, you guys are going to take me literally. Infinite numbers. Infinite number of cells. Infinite number of projections. Infinite number of, projections caused by harmony. Cells moving in harmony. And then we have infinite number of projections of the cells moving not in harmony. And this goes on from the down all the way up to the big, the cell, to the universe, from the cells of the universe to the universe itself. Because the universe is a cell of another universe. Not called the universe, but we cannot fathom what's beyond that. So I'm just go ahead and say universe, because we don't have no word for that. We don't. I'm not even there yet. So the universe, to this other entity, to this other consciousness, is only this small. Even smaller. Can't even see it. Just like we can't see the cells, this other entity cannot see the universe. When there's thousands of universes moving in tandem, just like the cells are, just like we are on this earth, creating projections. Creating projections. And these projections, by the way, make up our own reality. If you want to go back to the individual level of the consciousness in your body, these projections make up the reality that are here to teach us something, here to, serve us, rather. Because we're all one. We're all one. Why wouldn't it be here to serve us? We're here to serve it. It's here to serve us. And I'm going to wrap it up soon. But, so yeah. I'm going to finish with how you guys can apply this knowledge in your own life. Because I'm showing you guys a lot of knowledge here. I'm not sure if you guys can relate to what I'm talking, because I'm throat hurts, tired, kind of talk a little quieter too. And I've been ranting. I think I've been jumping from topic to topic, I'm not quite sure. Can you guys apply this into your real life, into your individual life? How to explain this so that you can get this? Because all this knowledge, you know, that's okay. You can find that knowledge anywhere else. But how you apply this is my job. How you apply this in your real life, that's my job as a spiritual guru. I cannot go wrong here. So, let's put it this way. We know these are all projections, because I've covered that. You know this. We know these are all projections, and we know that we create them with our own mind. Yes, we do. The cells in our minds are moving, creating projections, and that's gonna send out to all the other cells in harmony, and you're all connected, right? You're all connected, the whole universe is connected. All these cells are moving in tandem, talking to each other, communicating, dancing. They're talking to each other. Without mouths, without speech. They're talking to each other. So you're seeing all this, you know, projections, like I said. Seeing all these cells dance, seeing all these objects. And you're wondering, you know, what's the purpose of me being here in this body? You know, we're talking about individual, you know, the mind, heart, body. What's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? What's all the purpose of these projections? What are they trying to teach me? How is this going to serve me from learning from them? It's really up to you, but let's go. Let's try this. Let's use an example here. I'm gonna say you have a rather persistent grandmother, always asking you about, you know, what you're gonna do in your life. Maybe she's projecting her fears onto you. This is a personal example. I'm not sure if I want to tell you this, but with this personal example, this is one of the lessons I've learned. The projection of my grandmother and my grandmother herself, because they're both projection and there's what is real in my life. So my grandmother always comes, says, you know, always questions me, you know, did you eat? What are you gonna do today? Did you finish Denny's? She's always double checking my stuff. Cause she cares for me, right? But what's the purpose of that? How does that serve me? Why is that there for me? What am I supposed to learn from that? Well, let's look at it, man. One day, she didn't do that. I got angry at her. That's actually why I always didn't understand. I didn't understand why she was doing it. So I just told her to stop. I was angry. I was frustrated. I didn't know. My phone's dying. So I didn't know why she was doing this. I didn't understand the purpose of this. So I go through. The only day that she doesn't ask these questions, the only one day my karma happens to be that way. The only day she does not do this. The only day she doesn't wake me up 1 minute early for work. Yeah, you guys know where I'm going with this. She doesn't wake me up 1 minute early for work. Bam, late. Guess what else? She doesn't double check me. She doesn't double check, you know, like all this stuff. And because, of course, Of course, I forgot to set my alarm for the wrong time. It was for PM instead of AM, and I'm not a morning person, so I'm already rushing, trying to get ready to go. Trying to get ready to go to work. That's all I'm thinking about. And, I'm just trying to get there. You know, I'm already late. I need to get there, like, 50,000 minutes ago. That's some exaggeration because I'm in a hurry. I'm not really mindful of what I'm doing. I'm in a rush. My grandma's already, like, I try to help this guy. I try to double to this guy. Whatever, you know? She's not going to help me at the point. And so I get there. And we have to have our ID for this job that I was working at. We have to have, like, little ID. It has to be with us at all times. We can't even show it to work. Bam. Got my ID. Of course, my grandma the other day double checks me, make sure I have everything before I leave the door. Okay, now, you guys are still not grasping this. All I'm trying to say is the purpose of my grandmother doing this, even though it might, you know, hurt my pride a little bit. You know, maybe it hurts my pride, maybe it hurts my dignity that she feels she has to double check everything. It's not because she doesn't believe, you know, that I'm not capable of doing this stuff. It's just that she knows. She understands. And sometimes stuff happens. Sometimes the universe does not really want to work for your favor. And she's there to double check that, make sure that even though that stuff happens, I will still have my stuff ready to go to work, you know? And that was my lesson, that projection. And this can be applied different, because there's thousands of different projections. Sorry, again, can't use thousands. Infinite number of projections that you're gonna run into. Sometimes some of them might be a little frustrating, some of them might be positive, you know, positive to you, completely positive. You love them. But, you know, whether they're positive, whether you think they're negative, whether you think they're good, whether you think they're bad, they're there for a purpose. You're supposed to learn from that. Whether that, whatever that lesson is specific to that individual projection itself. So if you're like saying, well, it makes sense to my life. What about this guy? What about that guy? You know? You're asking that one, guru. That's because that one has an individual lesson that you need to pick up on yourself. I can't. I'm not psychic. I'm just a guru. So I can't jump into your mind and say, hey, look, this guy's here for that reason. I wish I could, man. It doesn't make my job that easier. I wouldn't be on YouTube right now. I'd be just searching minds, just ridding ignorance, just ridding fear, you know, eliminating collective consciousness, you know. I'd be shoving you guys understanding, and you guys would be loving it right now, but I can't do that. Not psychic. So it's up to you guys. But I'm here to guide you. I'm here to guide you guys. That's no problem with me, man. I'll share my understanding with you guys. And of course, I'm on my own path. I don't understand everything, you know. I'm not master of the universe. I don't know everything. I'm not enlightened. I wish I was. I'm on a path of enlightenment, but not quite there yet. Yeah, not even close. So, I'm still working. And I can be confident enough to say that I'm more advanced in my path to go back and help you guys. I mean, a lot of stuff that I think about, in deep thought. You know, I meditate on this. I chase it down, man. I chase that thought down. So a lot of the questions that you guys have are really basic questions that I've probably been through together. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to put you guys down or say I'm better than you guys. I'm just saying. This is probably something I've thought of before. And this has happened a lot of times where a lot of humans will come up to me and ask, you know, like, what's going on, man? What's going on with this? And I see it as a really basic question, a really basic answer. In fact, some of the times I just tell them to go on the internet and look it up, look up this person, and look at this, because sometimes I can't explain it as good as they do. I know the answer, but to explain it other perspectives is a completely different thing, so I just give them the source of knowledge where I got it from in the first place. You know, I'm gonna wrap it up here. But yeah, I hope that helps somebody somewhere. That was just basically, I kind of ran down my whole spiritual views in one video. It's actually pretty cool, even though it took like 5 minutes. I'm pretty tired now, but it's alright. What else did I leave you guys with? I'm gonna leave you guys with a thought. One thought. Everything has a purpose. Whether you think it's good, whether you see it as bad, whether you see it as good, whether you see it as bad. Whether you think it is a purpose, or whether you think it's not, whether you think it serves you, or whether you think it doesn't, or you believe, you know, it doesn't matter. It's there for a purpose. Judgment will be taught later, next video. But, purpose. Everything has purpose. Don't get all mad when you know a different purpose comes at you and you're not able to understand that. Yeah, it's okay, you're a human, it's okay. Don't let that get to you, shake it off. Alright, you'll get it next time around. Because if you don't understand that lesson now, it's definitely going to come back again. It wants you to understand it. You might feel that same way, you might feel like, damn it, I'm not getting this again. It's okay, it's okay. We have all the time in the world. You're an infinite soul. You can learn this. You can learn this. Sometimes, even some lessons take other lessons to understand paradox, right? I know. It's okay. Hard to understand. A lot of this. As long as you're trying, as long as you keep moving, no matter how fast you're moving, to understand this, just keep going. Eventually you understand it. All of it. It might take you God knows how long, but if you just keep moving, you got it, son. In the bag. Like that. Stay positive. Keep looking for purpose. Keep trying to understand stuff. Don't let it get to you. It's not gonna help anything. And peace out.